Welcome to this Monday edition of the Final Wager, on which day I ran the Boston Marathon and thus get to wear this ridiculously orange jacket for the rest of my life. Cool. You probably won't see it until hunting season in my home state of Vermont, but it's really covering up the red on my face. Alright, so I'm going to try this like this today. Here are our scores. We have Julia in the lead on the last clue with 8,000, Frederic in second with 7,800, and Chris in third with 5,200. We will start with first and second, Julia and Frederic. Frederic doubles up. She will have 15,600, so to cover this, Julia will need to wager 7,600, and that's where we are so far. If Julia gets it wrong with that wager, she'll be left with 400. So to stay above that, Frederic can wager up to 7,400. And Chris up to 4,800. So far, so good. Alright. Now we turn to second and third, Frederic and Chris. If Chris doubles up, he's going to have 10,400. So to cover that, Frederic will need to wager 2,600. She gets it wrong with that wager, she will be left with 5,200, which is exactly Chris's total. Therefore, she needs to wager exactly 2,600 against Chris. This is a wager to tie situation. Chris has 2/3 of Frederic's score. So we'll put that as I must wager 2,600. And in response, Chris has two options. He can hope that Frederic gets it wrong and ties him so he can wager 0. Or he can hope that Frederic wagers 2,600 and gets it right, and in which case he would wager everything. Now, a lot of this depends on what he thinks Julia will do. If he thinks Julia will go big, then maybe he is good with that 0 wager. If he thinks that she'll go small for some reason, then he should wager everything. So, here's where we are right now, and now we're going to go into mind games. Julia thinks that Frederic is forced into this $2,600 wager. She could wager 2,400 to tie them. She could also wager up to 2,800 so as not to fall below a 0 wager by Chris, because that's the difference between their two scores heading into the final. Now, Frederic might be scared of this happening. So she might take a look at Julia's wager of 2,800 and say, okay, I have to get above that, so I should wager at least 3,000. And in that case, she can wager up to 7,400. Yeah, it looks to be it. Cool. So here are our wagers. And how did our players do? Well, we start with Chris, who got it wrong, and wagered 3,000, leaving it with 2,200. I don't like this wager very much. Over to Frederic, who wagered 7,300 and got it right. And then Julia got it right and wagered 7,605, going for the lockout plus $5. I like the two ladies' wagers. Frederic, I don't know if she had guessed that Julia might go for something small, but worked out. And Chris needs to go for either 0 or 5,200. There's no real in-between there, because either of those wagers will cover pretty much any logical possibility from the other players. Alright, interesting game. And I'm going to go put some aloe on my face, because I look like a lobster. And we'll see you Tuesday on the Final Wager.